For more on the new U.S. missile defense program, I'm joined in our Washington studio by Harlan Ullman. He's a senior advisor of the Atlantic Council here in Washington. Harlan, welcome. So expanding the scope and sophistication of the U.S. missile defenses on a scale not seen since the Cold War. Why now, Harlan?
That's a very good question. In the past, we saw Iran as a threat, and that was going to be missile defense. It turns out that it's not a threat. This could not come at a worse time. The Intermediate Nuclear Forces Agreement with Russia and the United States is about to be abrogated. The United States is about to withdraw, and New START may not be extended, which could lead to a nuclear arms race. What the president is talking about is unachievable. There's no way that you can defend against every single missile, and it does nothing against the so-called air-breathing threat of cruise missiles. So in my mind, yes, you need to defend your forces against tactical missiles. You need to have some kind of defense, but this is going to cost a lot of money, and it's going to be quite easy to circumvent.
Well, where's the money going to come from?
Who knows? Maybe it's going to come from China. It's not going to come from the United States. We simply don't have that amount of resources. We have a $22 trillion deficit.
Does this need congressional approval?
Absolutely. And there'll be great debate in Congress about this, but it raises the who are we defending against? Are we defending against Russia? Are we defending against China? Who? And if we're going to be defending against Russia, they have at least 1,550 warheads. We're not going to be able to defend against all of those. So I think we need to reconsider. My guess is that missile defense is important, but trying to put in a comprehensive defense as Ronald Reagan to make nuclear weapons obsolete is simply not going to work.
Let me tell you what Donald Trump said today at the Pentagon. He said this idea, expanding the scope and sophistication of the missile defenses, is the best way to keep America safe and to get America strong. And that's what we're doing. Is this making America stronger and safer?
The best way to make America stronger and safer is through partnerships with friends and allies and to negotiate. The worst thing that we can do is to preempt some kind of an arms race, which is unnecessary right now and one that we can't win. We need to talk to people. We don't need to withdraw. We've withdrawn from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which in my mind was a big mistake. Donald Trump was quoted as wanting to leave NATO. We need to negotiate with China not only about the trade and tariff issues, but about military issues, the militarization of the South China Seas. China is not an enemy. We don't want to make China into an enemy. They don't want to make us into an enemy. Talk, talk, talk is what Winston Churchill said, not war, war, war.
And how do you think this is playing out among NATO allies?
I think they're petrified. They don't have any faith in Donald Trump. They are concerned that the news reports that he wanted to leave NATO could be serious. There's going to be a NATO heads of state meeting later this year, and the president is seen as very, very unpredictable. This will be seen as another version of Star Wars that Ronald Reagan tried to put in place in 1983, and my guess is it's going to raise tensions and not ameliorate them.
What about all those staffers at the Pentagon? Oh, by the way, there is no defense secretary at the moment.
So there is. There's an acting defense secretary,
not an
and
official...
there's a chairman of the Joint Chiefs. So the Pentagon is still functioning.
No one has officially taken the role of defense secretary. This man is the acting defense secretary.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Pentagon has no clear chief at the moment. So
it does. Sorry, this is not semantic. The Pentagon has a clear chief.
Right, but not an official defense secretary, Harlan.
He is an official defense. I mean, let's not debate it.
But that's not his title. He's acting defense secretary.
It makes no difference. The Pentagon is being led.
You didn't answer my question. The Pentagon, how are they reacting to all this, in your view?
Well, I think that the Pentagon is going to be obviously supportive of the president, but I think people are very, very wary because to try to put in place a huge missile defense complex is going to be overly expensive, and we don't have the money, and in many ways it's unnecessary.
Harlan Ullman, always making things interesting for us. Thank you.